Ever pondered how the greenery that surrounds us today came into existence? Let's take a step back, about 500 million years, to a time when the Earth looked vastly different from what we know today. Picture a world blanketed by water, with no hint of green in sight. This is where our story of plant life begins. In the vast blue expanse of the ocean, simple organisms called algae began to form. Algae, much like plants, have the ability to photosynthesize, a process that allows them to convert sunlight into energy. This made algae the pioneers of photosynthesis, the process that would later become the lifeblood of all plant life. Over time, these aquatic plants began to evolve, adapting to different environments and conditions. Some started to develop structures that allowed them to float closer to the surface, where they could capture more sunlight. Others formed partnerships with fungi, creating a type of organism known as lichens, which could survive in harsh conditions, even on bare rocks. As millions of years passed, a significant shift occurred. Some of these algae and lichens started to make their way from the ocean to land. This was no small feat. The transition from water to land meant dealing with a whole new set of challenges like scarcity of water, drastic temperature changes, and harmful ultraviolet radiation from the sun. The first land plants were small and simple, much like today's mosses, and they had to develop new ways to survive. They evolved structures to anchor themselves to the ground, prevent water loss, and reproduce without water. Their success laid the groundwork for the diverse array of plants we see today, from towering trees to delicate flowers. So the first step in plant evolution was making the leap from water to land, setting the stage for a green revolution. Imagine a world where towering giants didn't exist yet. How did we get from tiny shrubs to the majestic trees we see today? Let's journey back in time when the Earth was still a young planet. The land was initially devoid of life, with only tiny, simple plants beginning to colonize the barren landscape. These early pioneers were not like the plants we know today. They were small, lacked roots, and reproduced by spores, much like their aquatic ancestors. Over the next several million years, these modest green pioneers began evolving into more complex forms. They grew taller, developed roots to anchor themselves into the ground, and sprouted leaves to better capture sunlight. This was a time of incredible transformation, a green revolution that forever changed the face of Earth. This evolution led to the birth of the first forests. Now, these weren't the lush, towering woodlands we're familiar with today. The earliest forests were populated by fern-like plants and giant horsetails, with the tallest trees reaching a mere 15 feet. But as modest as these early forests were, they were a game changer. Why? Because these forests were creating habitats for various species. They provided food and shelter for a plethora of insects and early land-dwelling animals. In these ancient woods, the first seeds of biodiversity were sown. But these forests weren't just shaping the Earth's biosphere, they were also altering its climate. Trees absorb carbon dioxide for photosynthesis, and in doing so, they help regulate the amount of this greenhouse gas in the atmosphere. These early forests were instrumental in cooling the Earth's climate, setting the stage for the proliferation of life. So, the rise of forests was a pivotal chapter in Earth's history. It was a time when the planet went from a barren land to a green paradise, teeming with life. These ancient forests were not just a testament to plant evolution, but also a lifeline for Earth's burgeoning ecosystems. Let's continue to explore the fascinating journey of plant evolution in the next scene, where we'll dive into the world of flowers and their powerful impact on the planet. Stay tuned. Ever wondered why flowers are so diverse and colorful? Well, let's dive right into the fascinating journey of flowering plants, which, interestingly, made a rather sudden appearance in the fossil record. Imagine the plant kingdom as an enormous ancient kingdom. For the longest time, the rulers were the non-flowering plants, the mosses, ferns, and gymnosperms. However, the throne was soon to be seized by a new, vibrant force, the flowering plants, or angiosperms. Around 100 million years ago, these flowering plants erupted onto the scene, quickly spreading their roots across the globe. From a modest beginning, they swiftly ascended to dominate the plant kingdom, their success story written in the diverse and colorful array of flowers we see today. But what was the secret to their quick domination? Well, it was a mix of innovation and collaboration. Angiosperms, you see, developed a unique reproductive strategy that involved showy, fragrant flowers. They were not just about looking good and smelling great. These flowers played a crucial role in attracting pollinators. Pollinators like bees, butterflies, and even some birds were lured by the flowers' vibrant colors and enticing fragrances. As they moved from flower to flower, these pollinators unknowingly transported pollen, facilitating plant reproduction. It was a win-win situation. The pollinators received a tasty treat in the form of nectar, and the plants got a helping hand in spreading their genetic material. This ingenious strategy gave flowering plants an evolutionary edge, allowing them to reproduce faster and adapt quicker than their non-flowering counterparts. Today, they constitute about 90% of the plant kingdom, with over 300,000 species. Their impact, however, extends beyond their own kind. Flowers are not just a feast for our eyes. They are a critical food source for countless species, playing a pivotal role in Earth's ecosystems. The evolution of flowers was a game changer, not just for plants, but for the thousands of species that depend on them. But how have humans influenced this long history of plant evolution? The story of plant evolution cannot be separated from the story of human development. For thousands of years, humans have been shaping the plant world around them, often without even realizing the profound impact of their actions. Let's take a journey back in time. When our ancestors first started farming around 10,000 years ago, they initiated one of the most dramatic chapters in plant evolution: the domestication of wild plants for agriculture. By selectively breeding plants for desirable traits, humans were unknowingly guiding plant evolution. This led to the creation of many of the crop species we rely on today, like wheat, rice, and corn. These plants bear little resemblance to their wild ancestors, having been transformed by human influence into the high-yielding food sources they are today. Fast forward to the industrial age, human activities took a different turn, affecting plant evolution in more destructive ways. The rise of industries led to widespread deforestation, robbing countless plant species of their natural habitats. This not only led to a loss of biodiversity, but also forced the remaining plant species to adapt to rapidly changing environments. In recent decades, the impact of human-induced climate change has added another layer of complexity to plant evolution. Rising temperatures, changing rainfall patterns, and increased carbon dioxide levels are all creating new selection pressures. Some plants may adapt and thrive in these changing conditions, while others may struggle to survive. But the story doesn't end there. Humans are also influencing plant evolution in more deliberate ways through the use of genetic engineering. By directly manipulating the genetic makeup of plants, scientists are creating new plant varieties that can resist pests, tolerate harsh conditions, or produce higher yields. The relationship between humans and plants is a complex dance of mutual influence. From the dawn of agriculture to the challenges of climate change, our actions have shaped and will continue to shape the path of plant evolution. Our actions have forever altered the course of plant evolution, bringing both benefits and challenges. So, what does the future hold for the evolution of plants? As we journey into the future, we encounter a world transformed by a variety of factors: global warming, habitat loss, and genetic engineering. Each of these factors promises to shape the path of plant evolution in significant ways. Let's start with global warming. As temperatures continue to rise, the heat-loving plants of the tropics may find their habitats expanding towards the poles, while cold-loving alpine and polar plants could find their habitats shrinking. This might result in a shift in plant distributions and could potentially bring about new plant species adapted to warmer climates. Next, we consider habitat loss. As more and more natural habitats succumb to urbanization and agriculture, plants will face the challenge of surviving in fragmented habitats. This could lead to the evolution of urban-tolerant plants, capable of thriving amidst concrete and steel. But it's not all doom and gloom. There's also the exciting world of genetic engineering to consider. With the ability to directly manipulate plant genes, we might see the creation of plants with enhanced abilities to survive drought, resist pests, or even clean up pollution. Imagine a world with trees that can absorb more carbon dioxide, or flowers that can detect and signal the presence of harmful pollutants. The potential is truly astounding. Yet, it's important to note that while these changes might seem futuristic, they are happening right now. Around the globe, plants are already adapting to our changing world, evolving in real time before our eyes. In conclusion, the future of plant evolution is a tapestry woven from threads of challenge and opportunity. As we continue to influence the planet, plants will respond in kind, evolving in ways that reflect the changing world around them. The story of plant evolution is far from over, and we, as stewards of the earth, play a crucial role in its next chapters. Our actions today will shape the flora of tomorrow. Let's make sure we're writing a story we can be proud of.